So let's start right now. A quick explanation on who Simtrax is. So we've been founded about 25 years ago, a little bit less than 25 years ago. We have in France, and we have subsidiaries in Los Angeles and Boston, London and Mumbai. We're about 75 employees, and we are a software editor. With two main areas, business intelligence on one side, BI Lite, and on the other side, output management, which is the way to handle output documents from ERPs and applications. Our softwares are written in 5 languages, French, English, obviously, German, Spanish, and Japanese. And we have partners, strategic partners with Microsoft. That's it has been lasting for more than 20 years, I think. IBM too, SAP more recently, and Oracle. And we have numerous customers in numerous countries. So Power View for Excel 2013. So the aim of my speech is to explain you the interest of Power View. First, it's a data visualization tool, so it's 100% in Excel. It's a sort of mixture between a pivot table which already existed, or pivot charts, let's say, which already existed, and visualization tools that you can find with other BI tools on the market. But it's included in Excel, and it's Microsoft, so it's fairly standard. You have 2 versions of that. One is linked to SQL Server 2013, and one to Excel 2013. So for the first one, you need to have SharePoint. So there's a free version of SQL Server, but in any case, you need to have SharePoint. And the other one is let's say the end user one, included in Excel. And both versions require Silverlight 5, which is the visualization tool, sort of PDF kind of tool of Microsoft, which has been there for about 10 years, I think. And yes, one point which is useful, you have to activate Power View in Excel 2013. That's in the options that you can find out. So it looks like that. So you have dynamic bar charts. You can click on that, and it changes the data on every every chart. And we'll see that in a moment in an example. You also have maps, so you automatically link your data to maps. No need to implement anything for that. So that will be pretty interesting for new ways to visualize data of your queries, latest view queries. Concerning StarQuery Suite, you certainly know how it works, but I'll show you in a minute. There are 3 steps. The first one is to create a map that's a view of the database, all the databases that you can use and provide to the end users. At the first step, the maps is most of the time done by the IT on the IT side. Then you can query your database to extract data. That's let's say the advanced users who will do that. And then there's an automation tool called StarQuery Scheduler which distributes and delivers the results through emails, through a certain number of actions. And in addition to that, we recently added that in version 4 of StarQuery repository, which is called StarQuery Console, which is linked to Windows software, Windows Server, sorry, and which allows to gather all the maps and queries and Excel sheets in a centralized repository, and to manage the access to those to the data. So it's in terms of organization, search, and safety, it's a real breakthrough. We'll see that also in a minute. So in terms of profiles that you can find, there are, let's say, 3 types of profiles. The ones using StarQuery for Excel, who will analyze the data, ad hoc data when they need to. You'll have the data explorers, who are the ones who just launch queries that have been created by someone else. So the analysts create their own queries and use StarQuery for Excel. And you also have consumers of information receiving information through the StarQuery Scheduler, which is handing out queries and results, mostly results, in the form of Excel sheets. And you also have admins, obviously, who are dealing with StarQuery Console. So let's start a short demo, just to show you the new things that we have in StarQuery Suite, which are linked to Power View, and which are also additional to Power View. Let me just I'll start with an example of what we can create with StarQuery. So this is a very nice picture of sales. We'll use something that everyone can understand: sales, number of sales, amount of orders, that kind of things. And this is linked to a database which is gathering data from different countries, different product categories like bikes, like clothes, components, and just to show you how it works. So this is in Excel. You can, for the end user, the one using StarQuery for Excel runtime, that user can choose the kind of data he wants to see, and then launch a query. So for example, here we have 34% of components for the year 2012, which was the one which had been selected beforehand for Europe, and I'll try and change that for North America 2013, and we'll see how it everything is updated. First, we'll see the data in tables, and then you'll see that we also use a Power View, the third of the tabs that we have there. So this the synthesis has been updated, especially on that area. We can see that we have Canada, California, and so on. And so that's one of the views that's possible with StarQuery. And we have added a nice view through Power View. So that's Power View, the kind of visualization that we can have with Power View. As you can see, you can choose the year, so the data change when you choose the year there. And if you just choose, for example, one of the categories like bags, then it underlines the data on the map and it underlines the data on the bar chart that we have there. So it's pretty nice. That Power View is made of two elements, the map, and on top of that a bar chart with data. So you've got three elements: the bar chart, the data, and the map. And we'll try and create roughly the same kind of things from, let's say, from scratch. So that was a pretty nice document that had already been prepared. I'll show you another one that is already predefined. I decided not to show you StarQuery Map Designer, but for the ones who are not familiar with Map Designer, which is the part where we provide the maps, we choose the different tables and create joins between the different tables. Just a quick view of StarQuery Map Designer to show you how it works. So the first step is to select the tables from a database. So we have, for example, for that example, we have two different databases. One is on SQL Server. If I show you the connection elements, you can see that I've chosen a provider, and then I will connect to my server. So I test the connection. Okay, and doing that, my data source has been it is on green now, and I have taken data which are there from that database. And then a very powerful tool in terms of I think we are the only tool on the market. I haven't seen anyone up to now which does the same. We are able to choose several data sources, so several databases, and connect the different tables of those databases to the other ones, so to another database like that one, and create joins like this one, for example, from product ID to product ID. So just to show you the possibility. So that's to create queries on different databases on real time. In that case, we had the StarQuery, the SQL database with sales and sales details and products and things like that. And we had another database which was linked to the accounting side, finance side, which brings us the tax. So if we preview data, for example, this is the VAT percentage that's different from one product type to another. So it's pretty useful. That's something we didn't have on the first database. And then we gather data from the different tables into views. We call that dimensions. So in that case, you have something about the products, category names, subcategories, something about the time, year, quarter, month that we created, and measures, which are just calculations done on the data of the database. It doesn't come from the database. And we can also create constraints. So let me show you, for example, if I right-click, I can view the data in the database. So you see that we have Europe, France, Germany, and North America with different, let's say, states. And if I create a constraint and put it on the sales territory and preview the dimension, then the filter, the constraint has been used. So what I will provide to the users, to the query creators, will be filtered through that. So it's an element of security, let's say. That was just to show you how Map Designer was working. So that's at the end what we call a map. The map has already been created. Now what I wanted to show you was something that was half done, half not done. So this is a query that I have created with StarQuery for Excel. Let me show you how it works. So you have a selected year that's there, and you can update the data through a button. So it's a macro that you have there. And we've selected data, let's say, to provide data with the continent, country, year, and category name with the total of orders and number of orders, and with the average of each sales for each of the categories. How did we do that? And additional to that, I added a pivot chart just to show you the data by category name. You can see that in California, for example, they sell a lot of bikes. They are the champions of for bikes, whereas Spain is the least selling country, for example. How did we do that? We are in Excel, once again, and we can use in Excel the ribbon which is dedicated to SimTrack, so it's totally intricated in Excel, and StarQuery for Excel there. Let me just show you, open up a query that the query that I already created for that. That's the one. So first of all, I selected the different columns that I wanted. Very, very simple. You just take the data from the map that you have on the left-hand side and took them as a column. I just added a constraint. As you saw on the Excel sheet, there's an Excel. There's one part there. Let me just show you that. Just a sec. There we are. I have some difficulties clicking on my document there. So that part has a name and it's called year. So I did a constraint which is linked to that. So I took the order, the dimension called order, the attribute year, and I did a comparison with Excel, with the cell which is called year. I also added a column which is in fact an Excel column. Let me just show you how it works. So I took in fact the order total, which is one of the columns I already created, and I divided that by the number of sales. So that will bring us the average. What else? In terms of destination, I put data there as the destination sheet. There's some style also that I chose, and in terms of tasks, I decided to create a form before launching the query, which is a form which will allow me to select a year, and that's about it in terms of in terms of tasks, and then we'll create a conditional formatting in Power View. We'll see that just after that. So when I update my Excel sheet, if I'm entitled to do that, apparently it's frozen, so if I go back to the other one, no. Yes, takes time, but it comes. So okay, I'll close my my query just in case. Okay, I think I can update right now. Yeah, there we are. I choose the year, so 2013, for example, and normally my query will be updated with year 2013 and with data which are linked to 2013. There we are. In addition to that, on sheet 1, I'll create a Power View, and before that, just another addition to StarQuery 4.3, in fact, conditional formatting. So I'll do some line formatting just to say, okay, I'll select one, which is the whole set of data extracted from my database. I'll search a given column, let's say. So I'll search for the order total and say if it's above, let's say 30 million. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I'll format, let's say, with a color like that one. Okay. So I did that on my query, and then if I launch the query, I can launch the query from there or from from my update button. Let's do it with 2013. Normally I'll see my second line, for example, on the line in sort of orange color. There we are. And for components, that we also have that. So here is a new possibility that we have in StarQuery 4.3, one of the new things. And now I'll show you the second element, which is the most important, which is the use of Power View. How do you do that? It's very straightforward. So you just say, okay, I run that as a Power View. I put that on the sheet named Power View, let's say. And then once again, I launch the query. Okay, that should create a second sheet that I will rework afterwards. It takes a bit of time. I'm working on a server, so it's a bit busy. Okay, so let's start with that. In terms of filters, you can create a filter on top of the data that you have there. So this is, let's say, sales per year and country. That's the title that you can give, and then you can filter data, let's say, per year. It's not very interesting because we've already taken just the 2013. So let's say per continent. Let's just choose Europe. So data have been filtered, and you can then change the filter through the small icon there. So that's a table. Okay, a table is interesting, but it's not what we prefer. So we, for example, in terms of fields and the way I tile things, I can then, for example, take the country and put it, or the continent. Let's say the continent. Create the tile, so I will have Europe, and if I will show filters and just take all the data. So I have now Europe and North America, and maybe what's interesting is just the order total. I don't need this number of sales orders. So if I just take the data from that small part and reproduce that, let's say I can copy that and paste it, and then from that, in terms of design, I can then create a map. It's a bit narrow, so I will broaden up that part. So you can focus, zoom on data, for example. And the data is very small. I mean, the small pie charts are very small, so it's not very easy to see that. Let me just show, maybe North America will be better. I'm not sure, but let me just see that. No, it's not very. Okay, that's the demo effect, let's say. Problem with Excel. So I restart the program. Yes, the data, the pie charts were not so easy to see it. So let me just reopen my document there. So I will start again with the syntax. Let me start query for Excel. And create my Power View once again. This is so the Power View will allow us to visualize in different with maps, with charts, with pies, the different data that are provided. So it gives a new hints to analysis. You don't only have the data in tables, but you also can view them in a nice looking document. So let's start again. Use continent as a tile, and in terms of fields, so that's I copy paste my Power View and create a map with that. Let me just reorganize things a bit. So if I just have a look at Europe, for example, I have my data on Europe on the different countries. So if I can also add another one for which I will choose, for example, to have a in terms of design, to have a bar chart. Or a scatter like that. It's a bit messy on my screen right now, but okay, that could be one possibility, let's say. And then you can choose, for example, bikes. And if you click on bikes, everything is updated through one of those power views that you use, the map as well as the data of your table there. And you can do that either on the table or on the different power views that you have. So, okay, that's a bit messy. That's not very nice looking, but that's the spirit of the use of Power View with StarQuery for Excel. As you saw, in terms of connection between StarQuery for Excel and Power View, it's very easy. You just have to choose Power View there, and it creates a Power View. So that's it. Just to finish with that part with StarQuery, let me just try and show you one more thing, which is StarQuery Console. So StarQuery Console is the repository we have been speaking about just a few minutes ago. That's how it looks like. So you are in, let's say, Internet Explorer or any kind of internet browser, and you have access, in fact, to your data. How do you store your data on that server? That's very easy. Let me just show you StarQuery again. If you want, for example, to save your query on StarQuery Console, you just use that part, which is remote, or if you want to store locally, you just use that part. So I can, for example, save that data to a server. You see that I log to a specific server, and that will ask me where I should put my resources. So I put that, for example, in my resources. That's demo GoToWebinar SQX, which is the one we are currently using. I save that. Okay, that's used, obviously. Yeah, that's already used, so it's not possible to store it right now. But that's how you store queries that you've already created. And if you want to store queries that you've created in a former version, then there's a tool to upload those documents into StarQuery Console. So this is a tool which will rather be used by the admins. In terms of users, you can just connect to the repository without even knowing that it's a repository and centralized. But in terms of admin, that tool is very powerful. For example, if I just take my map, which is there, which is called activities, if I just right-click on that, security everywhere, I can, oh, okay, let me just connect again. Okay, so if I go to my resources, for example, I normally should find all my resources. And so if I click on activities, let's say, and I display the linked objects, I will see the SQX, which is linked to my map, so the query which is linked to my map. I could see also if there was an Excel sheet, I could see the Excel sheet itself. So if I just change the place where I want to store one document, I can bring all the linked documents together, or I can just keep the link with my maps and queries active. So it's a major breakthrough if we compare to the queries as they were stored up to now. You also have tools like very useful ones like statistics. So in terms of queries and used queries, used files, you can see which ones are the most used and which ones are not used. So you can, for example, I've got quantities there which are not used. So those ones I could erase them from my server without any problem. I can see also who are the users who are the most often logged in, that kind of things. So that's fairly useful. And one more element which is linked to Scheduler, that's another tool that I will show you right now. So Scheduler is the automation tool that we have. Once you have created your queries and you've stored them on, let's say, on the repository, you can then create scenarios to automate the distribution of your queries and results. So Excel sheets rather than queries, by the way. So let's say, for example, that I want to send the sales report weekly to the managers. I will then do something like that. So you have different steps. First step is to run a query. That's one first step. Then I connect to my email SMTP server and I send a message which is reporting week. So that's my name, reporting week. Here's the reporting, and I use the attachment which is there. So that will be done on scheduled basis, which is what I defined there. For example, let me just show you the schedule. This is done on a weekly basis at 6:28 every Monday morning. So automatically at 6:28 every Monday morning, I will send an email so that all the directors will receive, or territory directors will receive the sales reports from last week in their email box directly. That's a sort of push type of way to use StarQuery. Okay, that's that was just to show you very briefly the StarQuery Scheduler. And as you may see there, you can manage the scheduler and the scenarios from the repository. So it can be centralized. So you can see that, for example, that scenario has never run, that one has failed, and so on and so forth. So you have there a way to monitor and supervise the automation of your queries. So it's a powerful tool, sort of industrializing the launch of queries and things like that. Okay, I think it's about all what I wanted to show you during the demo. I will sum up the new features of version 4.3 of StarQuery. So it creates reports in Excel 2013 with Power View. That's the main point. Then we also have new environments. That's very important because that was something that some of our customers were waiting for. Now StarQuery is working with Office 2013. Windows 64 bits, that was the case, that has been the case for the last 2 years, and then Office 64 bits, that's new, and Office 365, that's for the heavy client type of Office 365. I just showed you the web console, so StarQuery console for the management of resources. I didn't show you the management of users, but that's a point which is also important in StarQuery console. The users, you can choose which user can see which data and to which level. So even the details you can create constraints that will be used for a specific user or user groups, so that they cannot see data that are, say, confidential. So in terms of security management, that's very powerful. And statistics, I showed you very quickly the statistics, which resources are most used, which users are the most active ones. And StarQuery Scheduler, which has been redesigned and which is used for the push mode, for sending Excel sheets via Excel, for example, via email, for example. And yes, that's another feature that you have. When one of the queries that you're monitoring is updated, then you receive a notification. That's also an alert that can be sent to you directly in your email box. These are the new features of StarQuery 4.3, which remains what we call ad hoc BI, so self-service BI. You choose to create your queries when you want and exactly how you want, thanks to the easiness of use, ease of use. It's BI Lite in opposition to corporate BI, but both have to be implemented in a company. We all know that corporate BIs just give a certain view of the data, which are top-down, but for controllers, for analysts, the fact that they could create their own queries when they want and how they want is very important. So it's additional to corporate BI tools. It's 100% integrated into Excel, which is the most used tool in terms of BI and data analysis. So that's something we stick to, and we are very proud to stick to that. In terms of implementation, just to give you an example, the StarQuery suite is a few megabytes large, and you implement that on your PC in 2-3 minutes. And in terms of training, 1 day for StarQuery Map Designer for the admins, 1 day for StarQuery for Excel, and that's it. You can create queries and start from, so just after 2 days you can start your queries and analyze your data. We can also drill down into the data. What I showed you today was a straightforward example, but we also have a drill down tool. So it's at the same time a simple to use PI, but very powerful one. User oriented in terms of interface, and at the same time fully secure, 100% secure. And so in terms of admin, it's a delight to use. So it has plenty of advantages. And if you want to use our service, we would be more than delighted to study your needs, and we provide consulting, and we mostly on our products, obviously. So we customize the use of the products, and we'll be more than happy to train people in your company for the use of StarQuery. It can be done on-site or online, so we provide a full range of service for StarQuery, as well as our output management tool. So if you have questions, just feel free to use the tool that's on the left-hand side. I just check if there's any question. For the time being, there's no question, so you're either it was either clear or you are not awake anymore. I don't know. So I'll just end up with that. Our solution is downloadable on our website. It takes 10 minutes to install. There's a free download for which you can test the product for 2 weeks, 15 days. And if you have any questions, just let us know on at that email or at that phone number. In any case, I will send you the video of that seminar, the web seminar, so that you'll find those elements on the video. If there's no question, that's not, yes, no question for the time being. I just look up because I have another screen on top. I think we'll end up with that. I thank you very much for your attention. And I would be very pleased to answer your questions later on if you have any. And I wish you a very good end of day. Goodbye to all, and see you soon for another webinar on one of our products.